Let's talk about the commercial real estate market that's affecting Toronto, New York, and all the other urban centers that are collapsing at a record rate. Let's get into it. You know that the real estate market is not hinged on residential. It has nothing to do with res. It has to do with commercial, right? Because residential, only one family lives in it. They have no power, nothing. If one house burns down, no problem. But commercial, on the other hand, that's a completely different can of worms. And let me explain it to you, because there's a lot of people who aren't financially literate. And I want to teach you guys financial literacy so you understand what's happening. You see, the commercial market is a whole group of people that have to occupy spaces in these high office towers. Let's give you an example. There is an office building, and this office building is 50 floors, and it houses 20 different companies. They all have a floor and a half, and they're all doing work in it. The owner of that building has a mortgage. He didn't fucking buy it outright. He ain't rich, essay, but he has a mortgage, and in his mortgage contract, there's a couple of stipulations, rules, if you will. And one of them is that he's got to keep the building in good repair. Another clause could be that he has to have 60, 70, 80% occupancy in this building. He has to make sure that his taxes are paid. Make sure that it's insured. These are some examples of clauses that are in real estate, in mortgage documents. And the problem is that this office tower owner can't pay his taxes because there's companies that are not using his space. And when they don't use his space, he can't meet the condition of being 60, 70, 80% at capacity. You see, he can't keep it in repair because there's no money coming in. And this is why, my friends, they're trying to force you to go back to work, right? And they're trying to put those people back to work, get them back in the office towers, because the people not only occupy seats in the office towers, they also buy sandwiches at the sandwich shop, they buy ties, they do dry cleaning, they get their shoes shined, they get dresses hemmed, they buy makeup, they buy snacks. And there are a host of different spin-off companies and little mom and pop shops that have these little stores in these office towers. And these office towers, my friends, are owned by people who have contracts with government, right? They all of them have a federal or a provincial office in there somewhere. Yeah, because that's what pays the rent. That's what gives them the bread and butter. Right, because the office towers. I gotta take a deep breath before I finish this movie. I'm probably gonna lose a couple of you guys, but you weren't really listening anyway. Anyways, these office towers, they have government contracts in them, and the government employees don't want to go back to work in the offices. The government employees don't want to go back to work, period. It's not like they fucking did anything, right? What do provincial and federal workers actually produce? I'm not saying that they don't do work. What do they produce? Do they produce a good? They provide a service? Because the last time I checked, anytime I called the government office, nobody answered the fucking phone. Nobody produced anything made in Canada. Right? We can't even make booze properly in Canada. Anyway, what I'm trying to get at is the commercial market is in free fall. And when this happens, those major banks that invested and gave those people their mortgages, Yeah, they're all strapping in right now. They're buckling up because there's nothing that can be done about the tsunami of commercial real estate that's about to crash. You know, when you see these condo towers in Toronto where they're like, oh, we're canceling this project by Mattamy Homes is canceling that project, and, you know, Concord is canceling this project. Who do you think gave them the fucking money for those projects? The banks. And those banks are so heavily invested in those commercial gigs that they are about to collapse. Maybe not in Canada as much as the United States, but I encourage you to chat GPT how many commercial banks have failed in the United States in the last year. And if you really want your eyes to pop out of your fucking head, take the 5-year, and then you'll understand that we're not coming back from this. You know what I mean? It's like when you jump out of an airplane, you only have two choices. You either pull the chute or, well, you hit the ground. And at this time right now, we are in free fall because there's people on strike right now that don't want to go back into the offices. And if the people don't want to go back and there's no bums in the seats, that means that they can't fulfill their obligation for capacity, 70% capacity. And each one of them are going to default on their mortgage. You're going to go right now onto any real estate site and type in commercial real estate and look at how many buildings are for sale right now. Go ahead. I encourage you. I don't want to do the heavy lifting anymore. I'm not fucking showing you slides and anything like that. You want to do your own research? Great. That'll give you time to prepare. You want me to do your research so you can argue with me about fucking percentage points? Fuck you guys. But the fact of the matter is that you gotta look at the commercial side. If you've listened to this part of the program, type in commercial, because I want to know who's paying attention. Because these videos, man, I'm making them for you, but it's up to you to watch them, and it's up to you to digest them and research them. Because I already made my plan, man. I'm in the suburbs. I own property. I own land. And I have this much land. I don't have to listen to any one of you guys in this city tell me that I'm wrong, because I've already made my investment. 40 acres of land I bought in Canada. That's how much I love this country. Okay? Let's get that straight. And the people that I'm trying to help, I'm just sounding the alarm. You don't have to listen to me. What do I know? I'm just a farmer. But farmers, you know, we don't have the radio in the background to distract us. We have common sense. We have our own eyes. And I can see things. And I can hear things. And one thing I see is a collapse coming. The collapse is showing signs of stress. You ever seen a building go down? Remember the 9/11 office towers that went down? There's a couple of flash bombs, and then a few minutes later, the whole thing came down. Yeah, it didn't come down with the first bang. It didn't come down with the 10th bang. It came down after like about 50 bangs. And right now, friends, we are in DEFCON 3. Did you know that the United States is in DEFCON 3 right now? Yeah. If you don't think that that's worth fucking ringing a bell or chiming in or sending an email, you gotta dial in, man. Dial the fuck in, because it's going to come. And the cracks are in the commercial market. Don't even worry about residential. Residential is a fucking joke. There you have it.